Today we've got the map for the 2026 governors if Kamala Harris had won the White House. It's kind of an alternate future slash alternate history. There's so much speculation here. Just like I did in the video for the Senate, this would completely change who runs again, who retires, which candidates get in, what the key issues are. So you could go really crazy here if you'd like. There's no way this is actually what would happen, but I try to keep it reasonable. And in that scenario, Republicans likely to have a lot of success here. Safe states are 10% or more, likely are 5 to 10, lean are under 5, and tilt are 1% or less. So we'll go through it one state at a time. We'll start on the West Coast. So the first state is Alaska. Republicans probably would do pretty well here regardless of the candidates, regardless of ranked choice voting. This one is going to go safe. In Hawaii, it's one of the bluest states out there. Yes, something crazy could happen, but we're keeping it at safe. Now let's go to the West Coast. We've got Oregon. Republicans have a huge drought here for governor, and these races not usually total landslides. So maybe Tina Kotek decides to retire, who knows, but in this, I'm going to still keep it with the Dems. It's going to be a lean rating. South and California. Now, Republicans always have the fantasy here of flipping this state for governor. In this, it would be an open seat and they'd have their best shot at it in a while. However, even in the red wave of 2010, Republicans didn't get anything done here. Hispanic movement that moved toward Trump, I think, would stay there. So it would get closer, but not quite enough to get down to single digits. I think it would be about 12 to 13 points and it would go safe. Next door in Nevada. Here, Joe Lombardo running for re-election with divided government. I think he would end up being pretty popular. I think it would be right around 10%. So I'm actually going to put this one at safe for Lombardo. In Arizona, Katie Hobbs is going to lose. She's not going to get blown out, but it's going to be about 4.5 points. It's going to go lean R. Idaho, easy safe. Wyoming, also easy safe. In Colorado, a lot of different possibilities here, but it would be an open seat. I assume it would not be Bennett running. Republicans would put up somewhat of a decent candidate. So anything could happen. I think it would be closer, but not quite getting down to leans. It's going to be about 5 to 6. It's going to go likely. South in New Mexico. Again, Hispanic support we saw going toward Trump, not going to go hard back toward the left in this. So this is wide open. Republicans did win this in 2010 and 14. Because it'd be an open seat in the right kind of environment, I think it would be very competitive. I think Republicans could pull it out. I ended up going with a tilt for the Republicans. Now we've got some super red states. It's South Dakota, Nebraska. Kansas would be a flip and a pickup for the Republicans. It would be over 10. Then it's Oklahoma. How about Texas? Greg Abbott or any other Republican easily would win a double-digit term here. Then let's go up to Minnesota. This state, like a lot of other ones, might be completely different because Tim Walz and his scandal and not running for re-election. We have no idea if that would happen, but we're going to assume Amy Klobuchar does not run for governor here. So I think Republicans could pick this one up, but again, it's Minnesota. Who knows what would happen? In the end, I kept it really close, but a tilt for the Dems. South in Iowa, maybe Kim Reynolds decides to run for re-election here. Either way, Republicans are going to be motivated here like in almost every other state, and they're going to get it with a double-digit safe rating. Arkansas, safe red. In Wisconsin, Republicans would love to flip this back, and it takes Harris in the White House to do it. It could go likely, but in this, I'm going to keep it at about 4 to 5, and it's going to go leans. South in Illinois. Again, we don't know if Pritzker would run for a third term. Maybe he'd be in the administration. Either way, it's going to get closer. It could actually get really close. We don't know. With all the unknowns, and to keep it realistic, I'm going to put it at a mid-single digit likely D rating. A little northeast in Michigan. Here, Republicans, they're going to flip the state back. In 2010, when they won the open seat here, they won it by a landslide. That could happen again, but again, to keep it pragmatic, I'm going to put it at a lean Republican rating. Then it's safe red in Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida. Not much needs to be said about those states. In Georgia, this would still be an open seat, but I think there'd be backlash to the Harris administration. So Republicans are going to be looking good here. I think this would be about mid-single digits, 6, maybe 7%. They're going to get it with a likely rating. South Carolina, safe R. Ohio, the open seat there, also going to be safe R. In Maine, this would be a tricky one because the state does lean blue federally, but Republicans did win a race here for governor in 2010, but that might have been because of a third-party candidate. They also won re-election in 14, and in this open seat, depending on the candidates, I do think there could be enough here for the Republicans to pick this up. So it's going to be close. You could make a case either way, but I do have it as a tilt for the Republicans. A little bit west in New Hampshire. This probably Kelly Ayotte running again, probably winning comfortably. It's going to be safe Republican. Next to that, in Vermont, Phil Scott is pretty much unbeatable here. Even if it wasn't Scott, Republicans still have a solid chance here, but I'm going to assume it's Scott and it's going to go safe. Next, we've got New York. Here's another one where you could come up with a ton of different scenarios. In 2022 with Biden in the White House, Lee Zeldin, he made it close, but not close enough. So if Hochul decided to retire, that I think would give the Republicans a chance to flip this. So there's just too many unknowns here. For now, I'm going to put this at a lean D rating. Next, in Massachusetts, I assume Maura Healey would run again if she decided not to, and if Charlie Baker or another liberal Republican decided to get into the race, it could flip. But for now, I'm going to put it at safe D. Then we've got Connecticut and Rhode Island, another couple of states that you could make a case Republicans have the right candidate and they make some gains here. I think it would just be too generous if they flipped. I'm going to put these at likely D. How about in Maryland? This is kind of similar to Massachusetts. If Wes Moore decided not to run and if Larry Hogan decided to run again, maybe it gets competitive. But for now, it's going to be safe D. The last state is Pennsylvania. I'm assuming Josh Shapiro would still run again here regardless if Harris was in the White House. But you never know, he could also join the administration. If that happened, then I think Republicans would flip this. But because I assume it's going to be Shapiro, he's still going to be popular enough to be able to hold the state. So it's a purple state, but it is going to lean blue for Shapiro. So that's the final map. Republicans come out with 32 seats, Dems at 18. I try to keep it as balanced as I could considering the different demographic shifts and the tons of unknowns with the candidates. But I think it's pretty likely Republicans could have a solid night here compared to what they might be in store for in the actual 26 election. That's how you do well for governor and down ballot. You've got to give up the White House. So I think I'm pretty confident in the actual results, but the margins and the last 4 or 5 states, anything could happen. There's no way to really confidently do this. Everybody's pretty much going to make up their own outcome. But this is what I've got, so let me know in the comments. How do you think the map would look if Harris had won the White House? Would Republicans do even better than this? What do you think would change with the candidates? Let me know what you're looking at down below. On your way out, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.